Hello, my friend. I'm talking to you today about your great preoccupation with the violence in the world and the unfairness in the world, and your tendency to attribute that to the bad people in the world, and to see the world as if it is divided between good people and bad people, as if it's black and white, as if there are some people who want to do right by everybody and some people who just in it for their own profit and who will harm other people. This may be true for very few small minority of people in the world. Some very few people may be able to be almost like saints and just do everything that's right and always think about others and never about themselves. But I'm highly suspicious of them because as human beings, we are here as entities that have to maintain themselves and therefore that have to have a concern for themselves and have to look after themselves. And therefore we have to put ourselves first a lot of the time, and sometimes that gets in other people's way. So those people who present themselves as saints and always altruistic are highly suspect. They're distorting something. But similarly, there may be a very small percentage of people who have taught themselves always to be nasty and just out for themselves and no matter what happens to the other. But again, it's a tiny minority of people. When I have worked with people who have been in prison or who have been accused of great crimes, even they felt they were just doing these things to defend themselves in an unfair world, in an unsafe world. So it just isn't true that there are many people who are just out for themselves and who will push everybody out of their way. Most people try to do right by other people. Most people really believe that they're trying to be as good as they can, but that the world is just so difficult to maintain yourself in that sometimes they have to push the other away or they have to make some room for themselves. So the model of the world that many people carry and that you carry, my friend, which is that some of us are very good but most people are very bad, is just not accurate. What is accurate is that the vast majority of people try very hard to be good people, but find it almost impossible because there are so many conflicts, so many contradictions, so many troubles in our lives, and we struggle with that. So what can help? What can help is to realize how from struggling with something, we can fall into the temptation of letting ourselves off the hook and become bitter and sour about other people, to start accusing them, to see ourselves as victims of the bad guys, or to exempt ourselves from taking responsibility for the way in which we are construing this world in our minds. So take some time to ask yourself how you may be doing an injustice to many other people by so quickly judging them and by so completely eliminating them from your good thoughts, and to allow yourself to put them in a category of people who are just not worth making an effort for. This is how you are actually contributing to the bad things in the world, which doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you a person who isn't coping, who isn't on top of the challenges that life poses to us all. But we can do that, and we can, with each other, find ways to be more supportive of each other and to give each other more of the benefit of the doubt. When we do that, we begin to bring out the good in each other instead of making these divisions which convey that some people are good and some people are bad, which means that some people are just dismissed and pushed into the category of bad guys. It's no good. Let's realistically try to put 85 or 90% or 95% of people in the category of struggling human beings instead. We are neither good nor bad. We try to do good, but sometimes we mess up and sometimes we just don't have the energy to keep it going. Sometimes we're just exhausted. Sometimes we've just done too much good. Sometimes we've just run too much all day long and we snap, or we get irritable, or we say something to a person that is undeserved, and so we create a negative atmosphere. So many of us create bad stuff in the world without meaning to, just because we can't find the positive vibes in ourselves to keep it going. So let's see if you can just observe that for yourself and don't let yourself off the hook. Watch yourself doing that. And don't hold it against yourself. Don't say, now you've become a bad guy. Just notice how hard it is to maintain an open, friendly, constructive, kind, positive, creative attitude all day long. And then remember that most of the time when you think people are bad, they've just gotten stuck into bad habits because they've given up on trying. So, if we give up too, we make it worse. Stop giving up. Stop accusing other people. Start building up a better way of understanding each other, a better way of interaction, and a kinder way to have compassion with yourself, compassion with each other, but always be in the search for how we can improve the situation and not give up on yourself or each other. I hope, my friend, that makes sense to you and it will help you to get back on top of things instead of being despairing about other people. Take good care, my friend. You are a person too, so be good to yourself as well. You need it.